Did you know that we women are declared the winners of arguments with men? Never argue. In society, nothing must be discussed because we like laying out all the facts and all the information and calling out all our differences. Stop talking, stop talking, stop talking. I don't care how slick, how sharp, or how witty a man is with his tongue. He ain't winning the argument. This is the Ever Airwaves Think podcast, brought to you by Live One Company, where we explore ideas that challenge, comfort, and clarify. I'm Liv, and in every episode, we break down life's complexities with intellect, insight, and a touch of curiosity. All right, we're on air. Hey, my beautiful friends. I am so glad you're back for another episode. I have something to tell you. Did you know that we women are declared the winners of arguments with men? I was doing some linguistic studying the other day, trying to enhance my skills of being slick at the mouth. So if whoever's got something to say, they won't see me coming. I'm joking. Like, actually, any great speaker and motivational content creator or disseminator of knowledge and information, they continuously educate themselves to stay sharp in their gift. And that's me. And you know how much I love to read. One of my main go-to tools is the Bible. You've been listening for a while, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here and following this podcast, subscribing to this podcast, sharing this podcast, and interacting with this podcast. And you should know by now, your girl is always going to bring you high-class knowledge, help you connect the dots, okay? Shout out to OG. Strategize your life and elevate you, and with a kiss of theology and philosophical whatnots, aka the Bible, right? So the Bible is a power-packed book of wisdom, direction, and instruction. I could never leave it out. How unintelligent would that be of me if I did leave it out? It would really be a disservice of me to disregard the master of the universe's principal guide in helping you when the very thing has helped me. So shout out to the one and only God and his son Jesus, okay? All right, let me get back on track and let me get into what I'm about to tell you, because I'm going to break it all the way down. Women are declared upfront winners in arguments. Yes, sis, we are winning every argument we have with a man. And why is that? I know intriguing minds want to know. We are declared winners of every argument. Yes, remember, an argument is essentially your fighting words and making a point, but we are declared the winners because it's better for a man, your man, be on the rooftop of y'all's house than inside the house with a contentious woman. Because we like laying out all the facts and all the information and calling out all our differences. We not holding in our feelings and what we got to say, what we have to say. We're going to be heard by our man each and every time. He going to get it again and again and again. He going to hear what we has to say. And yep, in Proverbs 21, God said the man is best up on the roof than in the house arguing with his woman. And why is that exactly? Because God already knows. He already knows how we are. We love to talk and we love to get our point across. He knows a woman's mouth, and what she has to say will always outbeat any man's tongue when it comes to talking. That's why. I don't care how slick, how sharp, or how witty a man is with his tongue. He ain't winning the argument. I don't care if he think he did or didn't. He's not winning against our, I said what I said, I'm standing on business, I'm keeping it 100. Try me if you want to. I bet you won't. You're wrong. I'm right. You're not thinking straight. And you need to do this and you need to do that. And what else we say? Oh, and you didn't do it right. I mean, that's how we do. Am I right or am I right? In the word in Proverbs 21:9, written by King Solomon, biblically, the wisest man on earth tells us that God instructs a man to take his butt to the rooftop. Go to the rooftop, sir. To the house, rooftop. And to the rooftop's corner at that, okay? It's better for him to be in the rooftop's corner than be in that house arguing inside with you, going back and forth and back. Not the corner of the roof, baby. It's given, should he jump? Should the man just jump? I mean, it's bad when God says the man, your husband, should be at the rooftop's corner. Is it giving jump or nah? Don't jump, sir. Don't do it. I was reflecting on God's wisdom and instructions to the man when I was reading the scripture. And I said, I wonder why David's son, King Solomon, was the one that wrote these words inspired by the Lord. And I was just trying to make sense of it all. King Solomon basically was a product of his daddy, King David, from King David being up on the roof. Do y'all remember that? Wasn't David like on his roof looking over and out and seeing Bathsheba bathing? And then he like snatched her up for himself from Uriah and like took Uriah out, her whole husband out, just so he could have Bathsheba. David was on that rooftop because he knew not to be inside that house with his current wife or wives arguing. And that's when he saw Bathsheba. She knew what she was doing. She's a clever girl. All right. She's a very clever girl. She was trying to secure the bag with the king, okay, being up there bathing like that in David's purview. She knew what she was doing 100%. Talk about someone living up to their name, Bathsheba, taking a bath to secure the bag with the king and a baby. I did laugh about this for a bit. I had a good key, okay, a real good key. But, I then thought about this deeply. And I think God tells men to go to the rooftop instead of arguing with their woman because he knows a man and he knows a man's limits. And also because God knows a man needs to be able to control himself, right? From getting out of character with a woman. Because some of y'all, y'all be going way too far with your spicy mouths. Y'all mouths be real spicy and extra greasy. Talking mad stuff, be real slick at the mouth, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it at that because I get it. A man can work your nerves, child. Ooh, oh my goodness, they can. And I also think God instructs this so a man can cool off from your tongue lashing. Cooler heads always prevail. Also, I believe this is because the man can go cry in the corner. That's why he said go to the rooftop corner. I don't care what anyone says. Men be way more emotional than women. They be internalizing stuff a lot more and way more deeper. Whether you agree with me or not on this one, I said what I said. So don't argue with me. Find someone else to argue with, okay? The only ones probably arguing with me anyway is the men up in here infiltrating, trying to get information. But if you want to argue, we can tussle in the comments, all right? But keep it cute or keep it on mute. Really though, please stop your bantering with the man, specifically your husband, because it's not really about winning the argument, which according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, if you're technically inclined on the exact definition of an argument is a coherent series of reasons and statements or facts that's really intended to support or establish your point of view. So in other words, an argument is an exchange of words in defense of whatever both parties are trying to convey or prove to each other. It's a lot of intense back and forth talking. So if God tells a man to be up on the corner of y'all's roof, then be in the house bickering with you, I think you should stop doing a lot of talking. I think God is saying, we won, y'all. Women, you have won. And when we win, it comes to our mouths. He's instructing the man to forfeit. You know what? I guess you can say also the man probably feels like he won too in his own right because he walked away. I guess we can give him that. He won too in some sense. Yeah, we can give him that. But ladies, proving our point is not really in our talking and never in our arguing. Benjamin Disraeli, a novelist and twice British Prime Minister, said to never argue. In society, nothing must be discussed. Give only results. I was like, I know that's right. Results only. Okay, because I'm very result oriented. So it says, we're going to cut all this arguing out with the man. Your man, okay? We're already the declared winner of arguments because we're not proving anything except we stay on go with our tongues. So friends, we're going to do less talking instead of being on go with our tongues. Because according to the law number 9, if you know what I know, the truth is generally seen and rarely heard. I'm not saying what comes out of your mouth to prove your point isn't true. What I'm saying is if you want to be powerful and actually prove your point and make your man listen to you and see things your way, then the power in winning them over is actually demonstrating your ideas. When your man can see what you're saying in action, he will literally stop getting defensive and stop going against you. Like in heated arguments, our words really mean much of nothing in trying to convince someone otherwise. So queen, trying to prove your point in a heated exchange ain't it. Your man may tire out in arguing with you because I already told you, we're already declared the winners in verbal altercations. And I think I've proved that point. But at the end of the day, when that that day ends for the sake of ending the argument, he's going to fake agree with you, right? And he's going to turn right back around to his original opinion and thoughts because that's what he believes. And you haven't really changed how he feels about whatever the issue is. He just wants to keep things peaceful. Powerful persuasion by action really works, y'all. Let me tell you how I was able to make it work on my husband. Story time. For several years, I have been trying to convince my husband to go to Mexico for a vacation. Now, I have been to Mexico several times before and I loved it. And I've gone to Riviera Maya, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Cozumel, Cancun. I just love Mexico. And despite political things that's happening, Mexico is that girl. All right. If you know, you know. I love the food, the people, the culture, the excursions. I just love it. Well, anyway, every year when I tried to convince my husband to go, he said no. He basically had every reason in the world why we were not going. He was like, nah, the cartel. And I was like, the cartel? I was like, we're safe on the resorts and tourist areas because, the cartel knows that tourism is their country's top income producer. So they tend not to mess with that or that area. They need people visiting their country to make sure money is still flowing, right? Then he was like, nah, it ain't, going to be clean and up to my standards. And then he was like, nah, I don't speak Spanish. And he was like, nah, I'm not eating that food. I was like, what? I was like, their food is the authentic Mexican food and not that Tex-Mex stuff we be having back over here in the States. Nothing I could say would convince him. And I was so mad. This went on for like 5 or 6 years. I tried to show him pictures and videos from my previous trips, news articles that like really reinforced my point of view about the country's safety and how it was a great place to visit. And he was like, nope, and nope. I ain't going. Take me to the Caribbean so we can see our people. He was like, take me to Jamaica. Let's go to the Bahamas. Let's go, to our Black Caribbean islands. And I really cannot believe him. I was like, not my husband, the Black and brown people of color and indigenous historian. He loves history, y'all, and he knows his stuff. And I told him he needs to be an adjunct professor somewhere on the side, but he don't really want to do that. He's just like what he does. But anyway, I decided a different approach for like 2 years. I just like went silent about Mexico. I knew my talking and us arguing about it was never going to change his mind. So when his birthday rolled around about 4 years ago, I was like, bet, this is my chance. I'm going to do what needs to be done because my man will be going to one of my favorite islands with me. I said what I said and I'm standing on business about it. So I told him about 2 weeks before his birthday that I had a big surprise for him and that I was taking him on a very special trip for his birthday. He was like, oh yeah, okay, that's what's up. He was down for it all, right? He had forgotten all about Mexico because I had completely stopped mentioning it for over 2 years. And we were going to so many other countries and other places. So it really never came across his mind anymore. I told him that I would be revealing his surprise birthday trip to him at the airport when we go to check in for our flights. So when we get to the airport and in the line to check in, luggage and all, I'm like, are you ready to know where, we're going for your birthday? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, we're going to Mexico. And he was like, what? Basically, he had to stay calm because we were in the check-in line with people in front of us and behind us. And he was like, ooh, girl, I'm going to get you. Oh, I'm going to get you. And all I could do was smile and hug him and play it off and kiss him and say, I love you too. I know he was hot. He was so mad. But guess what? He went with the flow. We were too deep in, tickets in hand, luggage checked in and about to board the plane. And the whole flight, my husband was like, I can't believe you tricked me. I can't believe you tricked me, woman. This better be the best trip of my life. We get to Mexico, we stay at this elite, very exclusive and very grand Mexican resort. And when I tell you we had the time of our lives, you would have thought we were celebrities on that resort. And did, because I am. A VIP ferry ride over to Cozumel. We did beach massages, amazing photo shoots everywhere. Quintina Avenida for fabulous shopping, island horse carriage rides, just amazing, like historic monuments, churches. We ate so good and we danced so much. And our room was absolutely incredible, from the views to just the 5-star service. The food, oh my gosh, the food was top tier, right? And my husband could not get enough of the real authentic Mexican food. And like the performances, the parties, the spa, just everything. We did so much. It was one of the most amazing trips we had up until then. And my husband was like, adios míos. He was like, you proved me wrong, babe. He said it really took us going and being there for him to witness it himself. He was like, we're going back next year and we coming back at least once a year. And so basically my arguing with my husband and trying to convince and reason with him for years to go to Mexico was not the smart move at all. It was about making him literally and physically feel and see the experience, but I had to do it sneakily. I had to stop talking to him about it and let my unassuming strategy unfold because I was going to get my way in the end. I was determined on that one and did. Conseguir lo que quiera. I got what I wanted. Mexico City up next. Here we come. Let's go. Queens, we all know that our actions speak louder than our words. When you're right, but it's nothing more than talk. If you really want your man to hear you, for him to side with you, for him to listen to you, stop talking to him. Stop talking. Change your strategy to action-oriented demonstration and results because it's about silencing them with the truth, with the facts and action. Because what we do know, lies have expiry dates, but the truth never expires. Shout out to Dr. Aki Ortopa and Mia Thornton. If you're going to quote somebody, get it right, okay? She is insufferable. We adding her to our prayer list, y'all. We adding her to our prayer list. That's RHOP for you. I know we find it to be challenging at times to be quiet when we know that we're right and he's wrong. I mean, we do like to talk, right? But one thing is for sure, the truth always prevails. If you're not able to prove your point, if you're not able to prove your truth today, over time, the truth will always come out and it will always be unequivocally irrefutable. If all you have is your mouthpiece right now and no way to win them through your actions, that's okay. Don't worry. Like, just stop talking and watch everything organically come to light. Sometimes your silence will be the battle anyway. Men tend to get a little antsy when you're real quiet. When you give them what they're not used to, which is not talking about it or bringing it up anymore, it demonstrates your confidence and control, and men begin wondering what's your next move. And some of them will quickly fall in line because your nonverbal communication sends a strong message that you're not playing. Sis, your power is in your silence and strategic actions when trying to prove your point to your man when he won't listen or doesn't seem to understand. When you need him to listen, when you need him to hear you out and agree with you, when you need for him to do what you say, just stop talking and devise your plan to show him. Get him in rare form, sis, okay? Because some of these men just need to see you're loud and clear versus just hearing you're loud and clear. Take action and make moves and do it quietly so your grand reveal before his eyes will be indisputable. Because we're not allowing a disagreement of anything, not even a disagreeable man, destroy our soft life living. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Thanks for listening to the Ever Airwaves Think podcast. If today's episode made you elevate, share it with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep questioning until you have those answers. I'm out.